going on, you guys? Now today we have something special for you guys. I've always wanted to try this camera out and see what the hype was about, and luckily somebody actually was able to donate one over to the channel. Now, if you guys have been watching the channel, I always praise the MJU, which is the Olympus Infinity Stylus, as my absolute favorite compact camera. But I was lucky enough to have somebody donate this Olympus Stylus Epic over to the channel. And so today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, take this out, and test it out. Now, as for subject matter, I am going to be choosing something that I did also with the Yashica T2. And we're going to go out today and take some automotive, or you could say car shots. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But like I said, I've always wanted to try this camera out. I wanted to see what the hype was about, and first impressions, man, is I didn't expect it to be this small. It's literally like tinier than my hand. So super juiced to get this thing going, super juiced to see the results of what this thing can do. Let's go ahead and load this up and get some car shots. Alright, so I needed to go ahead and turn the flash off. So on the back here, you have the little flash and the self-timer option. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that, and then hit the little flash thing right there, and it says also cancel flash. So I have this little dune buggy looking thing up in front of me, and we're in front of somebody's house. It says dead end right here, so I gotta make this one quick. We got it. Okay, so there's this really dope car right here. Looks really nice and super old. The only problem is this neighborhood looks really sketchy. It looks like one of those neighborhoods that you shouldn't be around. And so, not meaning in like a bad way, but in a, you know, I'm gonna call the police on you type of way. So I'm gonna snag that one right there, and I think I'm gonna snag this little red van and try to isolate off that white truck. With that being said, I'm gonna leave the camera by the car. I'm gonna go ahead and do the work, dirty work, and then we can get the hell out of here. We got the shot. Let's get the hell out of here before somebody comes out. Oh, Alright, I want to take a second really quick to talk about what I think about the Stylus Epic so far. Now, first things first, the 35mm 2.8 lens actually stays really flat to the body, which I didn't know about, because on the Olympus Infinity Stylus, it kind of protrudes out just a tad bit. But the only time the Stylus Epic's lens will, you know, actually come out is when you take a photo. So that's one of the cool things about this camera. It stays really flat, a really flat profile, which is awesome. Now, I've heard so many things and countless times on YouTube and on Instagram and everywhere about how pocketable this camera is. And truth be told, it really is. It's smaller than the Infinity Stylus, smaller than the L35AF, probably the smallest, if not point and shoot camera that I've handled, you know, out of my whole entire film career. So I really like that about the camera. I also like that the lens stays flat. But, you know, I'm not gonna really be impressed with the camera just yet until I actually see the photos. People claim that this camera has an incredibly sharp lens, and yeah, I can't really say too much about it yet. I haven't seen the scans, but maybe the future me will be able to say that I actually like the camera or not. Who knows? Anyways, let's go ahead, jump back in the car. I'm gonna drive a little bit more and then try to see if we can find any more interesting and beautiful car scenes. Update on the weather, it's still cloudy, but it is clearing up ever so slightly up right there. So, you know, we're gonna stay in this town for a little bit Then I'm gonna head back to my hometown and see what else we could do. Alrighty folks, so I think this might be the last frame in this row here. As you guys see here, it says 24. Magic number is 24, so we're gonna go ahead, head out the car. I have this nice little truck just sitting here. And that's it. All right, so we're gonna go home, develop the film, show you guys what we got. All right, you guys, now in this part of the video, I want to go ahead and give you guys my first impressions on the Olympus Stylus Epic. Give you guys some thought on what I think about the camera. Now, I've handled this for just a little over a week, and I've gotten to use it over the weekend, put through about 5 rolls through it, so I kind of have a good feeling about what I think about this thing. So I'm going to compare this thing over to the Olympus Infinity Stylus, just because they are very similar cameras, but also at the same time very different. So let's go ahead and start it off with a little tour. Up here at the front, you do have the clamshell that opens up here. You have Olympus Stylus Epic written up at the front. On European models or anything out of the United States, I believe it's going to be called the MJU 2. You have a sharp 35mm 2.8 lens as well as a flash up at the top. You do have autofocus on this camera. Now on the little corner here, you're gonna see it says all weather, which means you have a full frame camera that is the size a little bit smaller than my palm in your pocket. You can take this camera anywhere, anytime, in pretty much any weather, including the rain. So if that's something you're into, if you like shooting a lot outdoors, or maybe you go on a stroll every now and then, the Olympus Stylus Epic would be a great choice for you. Flipping over to the top, we do have the shutter button. As you can see, it's very simplistic. Up at the top, there's really nothing there. On the bottom, you just have some Olympus info. And then on the back is where you have the liquid crystal display, and it says ultra compact 35mm camera. You have the flash settings and as well as your self timer settings. Now, one of the things that I really like about the Olympus Stylus Epic compared to the Olympus Infinity Stylus is that when you do open up that clamshell, that lens does not protrude out. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera right now, but I'll do a close-up. When you take out the Olympus Infinity Stylus and open the clamshell, that lens protrudes out of the body. And that runs the risk of bumping it into things and potentially damaging the lens. And you guys know, for point-and-shoot cameras, once you damage the lens, it's pretty much a done camera. With the Stylus Epic, that lens stays nicely inside of the body, and it only ever comes out when you take a photo. So I absolutely appreciate that, and I really like that feature on the Stylus Epic. Autofocus is quick. All you got to do is hold the button down half press like with any other camera. Wait till it shows you the green mark. Once it's green, snap away. Now for the big question. Is the lens on the Olympus Stylus Epic really sharp? Now, imagine folks, this camera right here is 250 bucks, around that range on eBay. You gotta have a sharp lens to create some nice images with this. So, with that being said and keeping the cost in mind, I am not too impressed with the image quality. Yes, this camera can produce some extremely sharp images at 2.8, and it's really beautiful as you guys see here in these images. But at the same time, this camera, which is about a third of its cost, you can pick it up for around 50 to 100 bucks, can produce some amazingly sharp images as well. Now, the big difference between the two is that the Olympus Infinity Stylus has a 3.5 lens opposed to the Stylus Epic's 2.8. But realistically, if you are going to be shooting film and you're just going to be getting scans back from the lab, or maybe you just post them up on Instagram, you can't go wrong with this camera, the Olympus Infinity Stylus. Like we said, it's a third of the price, and if that's what you're doing, just posting it up on social media, this camera will do it for you. On the other hand, the Olympus Stylus Epic, it has that 2.8 aperture, but the image quality and sharpness is not all too different. Yes, this camera does have a slight advantage over the Stylus, but at the same time, I don't think it justifies that $150 price difference. In my opinion, what really sets the two apart is the shooting experience. Now, I'm gonna tell you straight up, the Olympus Stylus Epic is far much more a fun camera to shoot than the Olympus Infinity Stylus. First of all, because of the size. The Olympus Infinity Stylus is a little bit bigger, so if you have bigger hands, this might be a better camera for you. But in some cases, because it's really thick, it might get in the way. When you put it inside of your pocket, you don't wanna have a giant bulge in your pocket. Now, with the Stylus Epic, you guys can see it's a little bit more sleek and a little bit more thin, so that kind of solves that issue. Also, with the Stylus Epic, you do have that weatherproofing, something that the Olympus Infinity Stylus doesn't have, which means that you can take this camera everywhere you go, put it in your pocket, and shoot it anytime you want. Now, if you're in the market to buy a compact point-and-shoot camera and money is an issue, definitely consider the Olympus Infinity Stylus. It does have that 3.5 lens, but as you guys seen in these images, they are extremely sharp as well. And it is a third of the price. If you guys do have the money though and want that nice weather sealing, definitely go for the Olympus Stylus Epic. Now, to conclude my thoughts on the Stylus Epic, I absolutely love this camera. I just want to say really quick for the person that donated over, I know you're low key, you don't want me to shout you out, but Mike, I gotta say it, man, thank you so much for sending this camera over to me. This will be my new daily shooter along with my Stylus right here. So I'm gonna go hand in hand and trade these off for different days. But I just want to say, man, thank you so much for sending this over. The Stylus Epic is a beautiful camera, and I am so excited to use this thing. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, Minolta gang. Whew.